good. And you just dropped your second album, Auto Visual. Can you tell us a little bit about this album and your heart behind it?
Yeah, so the first album that I did was all electric guitar and was all instrumental. So I was very interested when I had the opportunity to work on my second album to kind of do some different things. So I wanted to, yeah, like work with horns players and strings players, and I wanted to bring some acoustic guitar into what I was writing with as well, because like I said, it was no acoustic guitar on the first album. And also want to work with some vocalists. So I kind of did all of those things in the process of working on the second album. So I had a really great strings player that jumped on a track called Lighthouse, and really like I learnt there and then, like, you can have good samples and whatever to work with, but nothing beats having a real human that is a great player add to it as well. So it was a blend of samples and live stuff, but predominantly the live stuff that he was playing, and the
Awesome.
samples are kind of underneath to just to thicken it up a bit. And then yeah, when we were working on a track called "Got It," I was again working with Mark Lettieri on that one, and yeah, we brought in Corey Wong's drummer, Patar, and great drummer, and then also through Justin, who was my co-producer on my first album. I knew that he was a great trumpet player because I'd seen him play in Australia with Snarky Puppy, and was like, man, why didn't I get him to do this well on my first album? So as I was working on this song, I very much had in mind that I would wanted him to be a part of that. So yeah, had him arrange, and then he kind of suggested, hey, we should probably bring in, instead of just having all trumpets or whatever, like, let's bring in um, a sax and a trombone, and that very much like thickened it up and
Yeah.
added another dimension to it. Yeah, so it was just a bunch of stuff like that, and then I also brought a couple of my mates from around here that also my mate Mark Schultez, who played some keys, and Ethan Belfield, who sang on a track called The Dark, and my mate Nathan Plumridge, who sang on a track called Back to You. So, and then my other buddy Costa, who played some drums as well. And he's been a touring musician forever, and phenomenal drummer. So it's been really cool
Yeah.
to not just have people that I admire from the States, but people that I admire from around here as well, which has been cool.
Yeah, wow. I was going to ask about your track. So we're about to play your track on V180. Back to You. Can you tell us a bit about that one?
Sure. Yeah. So that one, it was one of the vocal ones, as I said, and yeah, that one was with Nathan Plumridge, who was people might remember a band called Compliments of Gus. He was the
Yeah,
Yeah, so he was the guitarist in that
very
band. He also
cool.
co-wrote a bit with those guys, and sang a little bit of backup vocals and that sort of thing. But great muso, and yeah, he was living in Queensland at the time when I was working on this track, and didn't originally write it as a vocal track necessarily. It kind of just ended up going in that direction. I went, great, all right, that's what I'm doing. Who do I get to sing on this? I've always wanted to have Nathan sing on a song of mine, so it
So
was a
good.
pretty yeah, and he was keen, and so yeah, it was cool to have him come on, and we kind of, I had a bit of a hook line, like the main title is kind of the hook line of the song, and I'd had that in mind, and then kind of a bit of a direction of where I wanted the song to go, and then was able to just be like, hey, here's the track, here's what I'm thinking with it, kind of, can you run with this, and kind of, you know write some more lyrics around it and some more of a story. And so we went back a couple of times on that, but he did a great job. And yeah, and then had Norm Stockton from Lincoln Bruce's band play bass on it. Jason Thomas from Snarky Puppy, who was one of the drummers, played on it as well. And then yeah, Mark Schultz, I think, also played some keys on this track for memory. Um, and yeah, so it was a cool collab with those guys. And yeah, the song's basically about, yeah, like the poor decisions that we make as humans, and how when we get stuck, like, the obvious choice is to turn around and to turn to God. So that's sort of what the track is about in a nutshell. Yeah.